And the secret has explained so much of the changes that I went through in the last couple years of my life. And as I looked into the secret started to show that with it, you can accomplish anything in the world. You can have health, wealth, happiness, anything you want. The secret is the law of attraction. Mr. Toastmaster, fellow Toastmasters, and most welcome guests. A funny thing happened a few years ago, and as many that you know me personally, I changed my life from complete manic depressive to someone who is genuinely happy, and I really enjoy every day of my life. What had changed in my mind then was, instead of pursuing happiness or waiting for someone to give me a handout or help me out, I realized that I needed to change my way of thinking. I needed to be happy, and I needed to believe I was happy. So I adopted the rule of karma. Do good things happen. Do bad things happen. Well, it's exactly what happened. It took a while, it took 8 or 9 months, but all of a sudden, I was happy. Because I believed I could be happy as long as I did the right things. The next thing I wanted was wealth. I was graduating from kinesiology, had no idea where I wanted to go or what to do, and sure enough, I got a phone call from Investors Group, a company I had never thought I'd heard of before, didn't really know what they did, and I didn't even realize I had applied there for a job. It was one of those times where I was just mass applying my resume out. Something else happened a few months ago that was really cool. I started thinking, one day I would really like to be on a TED Talks. And I didn't really know why, but I really started to look into these different speeches and learning, and it was really cool. And just so happened, a friend of mine, Jess, came into my office and said, hey, you need to try this really cool thing out called Toastmasters. Never heard of it before in my life. Now I'm here, I'm giving speeches, and I never thought I'd be doing this at my age. On top of that, a TEDx now is coming to Chatham-Kent, and one of our speakers here is actually going to be in it. And I'm extremely excited for that. But the funny thing is how come these things keep happening? It's because whatever the mind can believe, it can achieve. I've heard many times that whatever you think about and talk about comes about. So what the law of attraction is basically thinking about whatever you want. If you guys know the story of Aladdin, Aladdin was the boy who wanted everything. He stumbled upon this lamp, rubbed it, and a genie came out. What does the genie say? Your wish is my command. If you actually look back at the story of Aladdin, in what we know about it, it says there's 3 wishes he had. The original story was unlimited wishes. He was allowed to wish for whatever he wanted. And Aladdin himself, the genie himself, if you translate the word genie from its original language, it can be anything from your guardian angel, to your soul, to God, to genie. It didn't matter. So what I really believe it is the genie is the universe. Whatever you ask for, the universe will give you if you really believe it, if you really believe it's yours. A funny thing that I now practice every morning is I used to dread mornings. I'm not a morning person at all, but it's because I always hated them. And if you can think of the day that you'd get up out of bed and stub your toe, all of a sudden you're in a bad mood. Next thing happens over and over and over. You have a bad day. You're late for work. You might get in a car accident. I'm here to tell you that every one of those things was attracted to you because you had negative emotions. See, that's the funny thing about it. When I changed my life is when I started to managing my thoughts. And if you're thinking right now that I have to keep track of my thoughts, that's a lot of work. It is. But the funny thing is we can also manage our emotions, and that's a little bit easier in our thoughts. Because we can have up to 60,000 thoughts a day, but our emotions are very easy and very clear. When we have good emotions, they feel good. So we know that. When we have bad emotions, we feel bad. So the trick, if we want happiness in our life, is to think positively. If you get out of bed and stub your toe, you just wash it off. I think it's worth getting out of the bed on the wrong side of the bed this morning because it starts to spiral out of control. But if we can always manage our emotions, our expectations, then we can always have a good day. And if we always believe that this stuff is going to happen to us, it will. So when I get out of bed in the morning, I start to think about the things I want. I grab a coffee, I sit in my lazy boy before my roommate gets up, and this might sound funny, but I'll close my eyes, look at the back of my hands, grab onto an imaginary steering wheel, and picture myself driving the car I want. And the funny thing is, I'm sitting there with the biggest smile across my face. The emotion is real. Our brainwaves are real. If you look at Olympic athletes, they do a lot of visualization. And what we found out is when you actually visualize what you're about to do, say run a race, the same neurons fire in your brain than if you actually did run that race. So what you can do is sit and really believe, visualize what you want your life to be like, and believe it will. And eventually, your life will become that. The funny thing about it is, we might work on this for a little while, but everything comes with a delay. If everything was instantaneous, you could think of an idea like, hey, it'd be cool to have a pet lion. Then all of a sudden we have a pet lion, it wouldn't be a great thing. So we have a delay. After that delay, we become who we are. So who we are today isn't necessarily who we are right now. You could be someone that works out all the time, but haven't seen the results yet. So with the genie being in the universe saying, your wish is my command, I try to go out and wish for things. Believe it is always yours. If you go every day to the mailbox and believe there's going to be a debt bill there, guess what? There's going to be a debt bill there. If you start expecting checks in the mail and really believe it, there may take some time, but it will be there. And you may try this for 30 days and not see any progress, and you're going to say, this doesn't work, and all I can say to you, the universe is going to say, your wish is my command. Thank you. Let's write that down. Okay. Pardon me?
I need your book. Okay, perfect.
Oh, she did it.
Oh, she got you?
I don't do it past my sheet. Thank you, Adam. Our next speech. Oh, right, sorry. Now we get 1.5 minutes, I believe. There should be a sheet of paper in front of you to write your comments, things you'd like to suggest that our speaker Adam could improve on. These things will only be read by Adam alone, so Mr. Timer, if you could give us 1.5 minutes.
Okay.
I'll get you another one.
I'm done.
Oh, okay.
I
Good
am
for you.
done.
You're right on the ball. You need one?
Oh, me too.
Thank you.
I put my hand in my pocket again.
I didn't even notice that. I can see you swallowing.